Row, row, row your boat gently down.
You need to tell me what happened. You need to take me there.
I don't know what the master told you to expect.
Who is that? Is someone there with you?
He's back. You can smell him.
I thought you were a ghost.
There are no ghosts here.
A brand new adaptation of Henry James' The Turn of the Screw, tomorrow at 9 on BBC One.
Survivors starts Tuesday the 12th of January on BBC One.
Don't think you're safe on the sofa. The country is overwhelmed and it's feeding time now on BBC One and the BBC HD channel in the chilling conclusion to the day of the Triffids.
It had been 30 years since...
All is not as it seems in a new adaptation of Henry James' classic ghost story, The Turn of the Screw, tomorrow night at 9 here on BBC One.
Police are believed to be searching for foreign suspects in connection with the brutal murder last night of an elderly couple.
How did they get hold of them? Help! Someone in this station's leaking information.
Well, prove it, Kurt.
I never thought I'd do that. Never thought I'd actually take another man's life.
All of the law, Inspector, is not in a book.
I am not interested in correctness. I'm interested in the truth.
The return of BAFTA award-winning Wallander, Sunday at 9 on BBC One.
The BBC News now on BBC One with Michelle Hussein.
China executes a British man for drug smuggling, ignoring repeated appeals from Gordon Brown. Akmal Sheikh was killed by lethal injection despite concerns about his mental health. The Foreign Office says it's unacceptable.
Putting to death a man with mental illness without a proper medical assessment is simply reprehensible.
The remains of the clothing worn by the alleged plane bomber. Now President Obama highlights unacceptable security failings that let him through. Remembering the fallen, hundreds pay tribute as the bodies of 3 British soldiers are brought home from Afghanistan.
It's come through to Fernando Torres!
And leaving it to the last minute, Liverpool's Fernando Torres breaks the deadlock against Aston Villa. Good evening. China's ambassador to the UK was summoned to the Foreign Office again today amid diplomatic tension over the execution of a British man convicted of drug smuggling. 53-year-old Akmal Sheikh died by lethal injection despite pleas for his mental health to be taken into account by the Chinese courts. His family says he was tricked into carrying a suitcase of heroin into China. From Beijing, Quentin Somerville reports.
Akmal Sheikh came to China 2 years ago, hoping to launch a pop career. Instead, this father of 5 was arrested when 4 kilos of heroin were found in his suitcase. Today, his troubled journey ended here, in a remote corner of this huge country. He was put to death by lethal injection for drug trafficking. His family travelled here hoping to save him. His cousins and the British government said he was mentally ill, but China didn't believe them.
Combating drug dealing is the common will of all people. We express our firm opposition to the unreasonable criticism of the British government. We urge Britain to avoid damaging relations between our countries.
Here we're seeing China saying firmly it doesn't have to take orders from anyone else, but also two countries with very different views on human rights. China's courts may have a poor reputation, but most people here support the death penalty, and there hasn't been a lot of sympathy for Akmal Sheikh.
Chinese citizens get the death sentence for drug trafficking, so foreigners should too. The foreign media reported that the guy is mentally ill, but I don't agree. How can a guy smuggle drugs if he is mentally ill?
I think Britain is meddling with China's judicial independence. Every country